Good day, students. So in this clip, we're going to be going over two examples on how to use the unit circle to find the exact value of trig functions. Okay, so let's write an instruction for the two examples. Find the exact value, of all 6 trig functions for the given angle. Given angles, okay? Alright, so the first one we're going to look at is 300 degrees, okay? So this is the step. What we'll do is we'll use the degree to locate the coordinate, and then we're going to use these formulas known as the unit circle ratios to evaluate what the value of this degree is for all 6 trig functions, okay? So where is 300 on our unit circle? 300 is located right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract that point, and it's going to help me figure out the answer, alright? Alright, so let's see, 300 degrees has a coordinate 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. So 300 degrees, let's write it down here, has a coordinate 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. Okay, this is the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate. Now we're going to start out with sine. Sine of 300 degrees. If you look at your unit circle ratio, sine is the y coordinate, okay? Because we have the opposite divided by 1. The hypotenuse is 1 in this case. So if you look at this, the opposite is negative root 3 over 2 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 1. So it's going to be y, which is basically negative root 3 over 2. Alright, now let's look for the reciprocal of that, which is cosecant. Cosecant 300 degrees is 1 over y. I can just simply reciprocate the result I got from my sine, which is negative 2 over root 3. Now I need to rationalize the denominator since I can't have square root in the denominator, so I have root 3, and my final answer will be negative 2 root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is root 9, which comes out to 3. Alright, so there you have it. Now cosine 300. Cosine 300 is your x coordinate from our unit circle ratios, because that's the adjacent divided by 1. Cosine theta is x. So in that case, we're going to have the x coordinate, which is just 1/2. And there goes your cosine. Now the reciprocal of cosine is secant. Okay? So secant 300 degrees is 1 over x. So I can divide this by 1, I can just reciprocate this. The quickest way is to just reciprocate this, and we get 2. Alright? Alright, now we have that down. Next thing is the tan. Tan of 300 degrees. So tan 300 degrees, if you look at the unit circle ratio, it's y over x, right? You see right here, y over x. That's the opposite over the adjacent. So y over x. So it's going to be y is negative root 3 over 2 divided by x, which is 1/2. You notice I wrote it horizontally, right? Because I don't want to make a mess by writing it vertically. So how do I divide fractions? To divide fractions here, I'll just change, flip, drop this to negative root 3 over 2, change this to a times, and then I'll flip this. What did I just do? Well, anytime you divide is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So dividing negative root 3 over 2 by 1/2 is the same thing as multiplying negative root 3 over 2 by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2. Alright? But we can divide here, 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 1, and your final answer is negative root 3. Alright? Now let's look for the reciprocal trig function of tan, which is cotangent. Cotangent 300 degrees is x over y. Or we can just reciprocate this result, so negative 1 over root 3. Okay? Because there's a 1 under here, so we can put a negative 1 over root 3 as a reciprocal. Now we need to rationalize the denominator. You multiply by root 3 top and bottom. So your final answer is going to be negative root 3 over 3. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and organize all the answers on the right side here. Sine 300 degrees. What did we get for sine 300? Is negative root 3 over 2. Its reciprocal, which is cosecant, is negative 2 root 3 over 3. Cosine 300 degrees is 1/2, and its reciprocal, secant 300 degrees, is 2. Tan 300 degrees, we found out was negative root 3, and its reciprocal with tangent 300 degrees is negative root 3 over 3. So here goes all your answers for all 6 trig ratios. Okay? All right, let's move on to question number 2. All right, so for question number 2, we have the angular measure, negative 5 pi over 4. Okay? Negative 5 pi over 4. All right, so the first step, as usual, is to locate the angle on the unit circle. Okay? So where is negative 5 pi over 4 on the unit circle? Well, they're all positive, so that means we have to rotate. When you're constructing these numbers, we're going in the positive direction. So in order to find what the answer is, we have to go in the opposite direction. Okay, so this is positive. Now, if we want to find out what negative 5 pi over 4 is, we're going to go in the opposite direction. All right, so if going this way, round takes us to negative 5 pi over 4 here at the center. If we do the opposite rotation in the other direction, negative 5 pi over 4 will take us right over here. Okay, because going this way, we went around and ended up here. The second angle, which is 45 degrees down from 180. So if we go the other direction, we're going to go 45 degrees up. And this angle right here is basically negative 5 pi over 4. Okay? Another way to do it is we can change this to degrees to make the measure much easier to see. If I want to change this to degrees, what I'll do is I'll multiply it by 180 over pi, right? And then the degrees divide out. And 4 goes here 1. 4 goes into 18 4 times. And then 4 goes into 25 times. And then 5 times 45 is 5 times 45 is 135. Okay? All right, actually, sorry, it's 225. I was right before. So it's equals, if I multiply this out, this equals negative 225 degrees. All right? So where is negative 225 degrees? If going around this direction takes us to 225, then going around the other direction, we went 180, and then another 45 to positive 225. If we wanted to get negative 225, we'll go negative 180 in this direction, plus another 45 degrees, which would take us here, and this would be negative 225. Okay? Now, using rotation to figure out where the negative angles are is a little bit confusing, so the best way to figure this out is to use reflection. Okay? So all you want to do is, if you want to look for negative 5 pi over 4, you look for the positive angle, the quickest way, which is this one right here, and then you reflect up or down. If you're beneath the x-axis, you reflect upwards, and if you're above the x-axis, you reflect downwards. Since we're beneath the x-axis, we're going to reflect straight up, okay, vertically, straight up, and we're going to intersect a point. Notice how it intersects that point right there? Guess what? The consequence of that negative reflection, the point that it hit up there, that point is the opposite of the point you started from, which is negative 5 pi over 4. So this angle right here is negative 5 pi over 4. So using reflection is very easy, as opposed to trying to rotate and figure out where you end up in. All right? So negative 5 pi over 4 has a coordinate negative root 2 over 2. and positive root 2 over 2. This is my x, and this is my y. Now I can start using these unit circle ratios over here to find my 6 trig ratios, okay? So let's start out with sine. Sine of negative 5 pi over 4 is the y-coordinate, and the y-coordinate is root 2 over 2. All right, the reciprocal of sine is cosecant. Cosecant of negative 5 pi over 4 is 1 over y, or I'll just reciprocate root 2 over 2, which becomes 2 over root 2. But you can't have a square root as a denominator, so you rationalize the denominator, root 2, and that yields 2 root 2 over square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. Square root of 4, which is also 2. And then these 2 and these 2 divide out. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 1. Final answer is root 2. Okay? Now let's go to cosine. Cosine of negative 5 pi over 4 is your x-coordinate. Okay? And then your x-coordinate is negative root 2 over 2. Your secant, negative 5 pi over 4, we already know what that is, right? It's simply the opposite of, we're going to reciprocate this, which is 1 over x. So we're going to work it out. If we work it out, it should be the negative of this, right? Because the only thing that changed between sine and cosine is a sign. So that we express the reciprocal just to have the opposite sign. So let's prove that. So we're going to reciprocate this, negative 2 over root 2. Since you can't have a square root in the denominator, you rationalize the denominator, root 2. And then you're going to have negative 2 root 2 over 2. The 2's divide out, and your final answer will become negative root 2. Alright? Alright, next is the tan. Tan of negative 5 pi over 4. Negative 5 pi over 4. So tan is y over x. So my y is negative root, negative root, tan is root 2 over 2. Let's see, let me scroll up a little bit so I can see. Tan is root 2 over 2. So we're going to have our root 2 over 2 divided by x, which is negative root 2 over 2. Alright? So we're going to change, flip, or multiply these by the reciprocal of that. So we have the square root of 2 over 2. Change to times and multiply by reciprocal, which is 2 over root 2. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to divide out. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 1. Root 2 goes here 1, root 2 goes here 1. So the final answer, multiply all the ones, is simply 1. Now let's do the reciprocal, which is cotangent. Cotangent of negative 5 pi over 4. Okay? Actually, there was a minus here, so it's a negative 1. So I left out a minus. So tan is going to be negative 1. Okay? Alright, so for the tan, it's going to be the same procedure. So for the tan, it's x over y. So the quickest way to do this is just flip your answer for the cotangent. So if I flip negative 1, I get 1 over negative 1, which is the same thing as negative 1. So there goes your answer. Alright? Alright, so let's organize our answers on the side here nicely. So sine of negative 5 pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. It's reciprocal. Cosecant of negative 5 pi cosecant of negative 5 pi over 4 is what did you get? Root 2. Cosine of negative 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2 over 2. Is reciprocal secant of negative 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2. Tan of negative 5 pi over 4, we got negative 1. And the cotangent, which is its reciprocal of negative 5 pi over 4, is also negative 1. So there goes our 6 answers. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel just by clicking up here. More videos coming from microserve.com. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.